Hi everybody, thank you very much indeed for joining us. In a second we'll be taking a look at this controversial documentary that's going out on television tonight. It's a fly-on-the-wall look at Cherie Blair's close friend, Carol Kaplan, and her conman boyfriend, Peter Foster. And it certainly raises a lot of questions, some of them quite funny. And what else have we got for you? Well, we look at the dramatic increase in men opting for cosmetic surgery, up a staggering 25% last year alone. And the most popular op of the lot, you got it, enlarging the most sensitive part of a man's body.
Psychological illusionist Derren makes his second visit to the show, performing more extraordinary mind-reading tricks on me and Richard. We haven't a clue how he does it, but it really is amazing stuff. That's later.
He's the Uri Geller of the day, isn't he?
I think Empire magazine called him the Jedi Master.
I wouldn't go that far. Uri Geller's about as far as I'd go. And our gallant band of volunteers who've very publicly been thinking... Now, last year, psychic illusionist Derren Brown was with us in the studio, and he asked me to just silently remember a specific incident from my childhood, and I did, and strike me pink. Did that for you. If he then didn't tell me exactly what I was thinking. It was amazing. He did something similar to Judy a bit later, and we and you were blown away. And he's going to do some more extraordinary mind reading in just a couple of minutes. But first, here's another stunt from his new series. Good stuff. Well, Derren, we know exactly what you're thinking at the moment. You're thinking, this is the first question.
That's very complicated, yes. That's what I'm thinking now.
You see, you're not the only one, mate, I tell you. Are you a psychic or are you a very good magician?
I'm certainly not psychic. My background is in magic. What I do is a mixture of reading people, reading signals, just understanding that people give certain things off and influencing people, and a lot of showmanship too, which absolutely comes from the magic.
Because last time you were on, apart from the bits I just mentioned, you did a very simple thing where we both took a £1 coin, Judy and I, and we put our hands behind our back and we put them out, and there was just no way that you could possibly know, but you did every single time. You guessed which hand it was in, and that you said afterwards was because you were just reading us very, very carefully.
Exactly. There's a lot of things I'm all doing. It's difficult to explain, but yes, that's all I'm doing. It's certainly not psychic.
OK, when you do them sort of en masse, as we saw there, I find that most astonishing of all, but you've got some stuff for us tonight, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, essentially what this is, I mean, this is a party trick, really. This is how I started. But I'll write something down behind my back, right? I'll do it behind my back so you can't see what the pencil's doing, and you can't guess what it says.
Is this for Judy or me or both of us?
This is just for Judy. Okay. I've now lost the pencil down the side of the sofa. I will seal that up in there. Now, Judy, this is a letter of the alphabet.
There's another pen if you want it.
Done it now. It's all written. Thank you. It's a letter of the alphabet. You couldn't possibly know what it is, so don't try and guess. It's not an R or a J, because that might be a little bit obvious. But just name at the moment what letter feels right to you.
A.
A for apple. Any particular reason why you'd say A?
No, it just came into my mind.
Came into your mind.
When you said that.
Have a look.
This is so spooky.
It is indeed an A. Now that would seem... It's a little bit wonky, that's behind my back, but it would seem like a free choice.
How the hell did you do that?
It would seem like a free choice, yes. And yet what I'm doing is I'm telling you to think of A, and this is essentially what it's about.
So you didn't know she was going to say A, you told her to say A?
Yes, but that felt like you've just made that A up just right then, didn't you, in your head?
Yeah.
Yeah, any particular reason?
What did you say? You said something like, I want you to think of a particular letter in the alphabet, any letter.
Not R and J.
No,
not R and
it was
J.
before he said not R and J, and I immediately thought of A.
Maybe it was A, maybe it was A in the and. Was it the and, R and J?
No, it was before he said that. Weird, and you're not going to tell us how he did it.
You're going to do a map trick,
yes,
which has been baffling me all day because I can't see how you're going to do this.
All right, OK, well, we've heard a number of times that psychics apparently have been able to tell where oil is by sort of hovering their hands over a map and supposed to be able to tell where to drill for oil. I think it's nonsense. I think what's happening is the psychic in question is picking up on these signals from people, and someone in the room knows where the oil is and he can tell where it's supposed to be. So let me show you this. Come over here. This is a map of London. Yeah. All right. And we haven't set anything up. I haven't told you to help me out here or anything.
On the contrary, you said don't help you in any way, shape or form, and I'm not going to.
Well, I appreciate that. What I'd like you to do is, without giving anything away by looking anywhere on the map, but think of somewhere in London, an address or a road or a place that has a significance for you of some sort.
Hang on.
You take a minute to do that.
I've got one. Go on.
Nothing too obvious, not the first place you met Judy or anything like that. Something, all right, a little bit more obscure perhaps. Great, OK. Now, I want you to look at me and don't try and help me out here. Just put your hands by your sides. So we can take just half a step nearer. All right, just look me right in the eye and keep looking at me and think of the place.
I'm thinking of it.
Can you make a mental image of it?
Yeah, I've got it fixed.
All
It's
right,
like a picture in my
fantastic.
head.
All right, I'm going to ask you to keep absolutely quiet while I do this. I realise that may be cripplingly difficult. Just for a second. And just think about the place. Think about where it would be, what it looks like, how you'd get there if you're approaching from the river, where you'd go.
Right, okay.
All right, whereabouts, or without looking at the map, whereabouts on the map it might be. And just think of that. and in your mind direct me to the right place. And you're thinking of can you think the association is a man, you're thinking of a man.
I am, yes.
Yeah, and it's not you, and it's not a relation. It's a man and he's wearing unusual clothes, yes? Like it's like a hat and it's got something in his mouth.
Yes.
Just think of it, just think left, right, just tell me where to go. I'm gonna, right there. Don't look.
I'm not looking.
Don't look. Can we get a camera? Yeah, just draw a circle around my finger, Judy, that'd be fantastic.
All right.
Can you tell me, as the camera comes in and just shows where that is?
Judy, you lift the map up, just show the camera. You want to tell me?
Tell me where it was. Tell me what it was. You were thinking of Sherlock Holmes, weren't you?
I was thinking of Baker Street and Sherlock Holmes in the museum.
Can we
there,
come
and
in?
We drive past it most mornings.
Can you see? Where did I get? Am I anywhere close?
You're on Baker Street.
It's Baker Street, the corner of Baker Street and Marylebone Road.
And that's where the museum is, just there, right in the middle of the circle. Come on, give it up.
Oh, there you go. I'm absolutely delighted. Thank you ever so much.
Well,
Wowee.
little cold shivers up and down the spine. I need to sit down. Come on, let's just go
Come
down.
and sit down again.
Thank you. I cannot begin to work out how that happened.
But you're telling me what
possibly have known. I mean, in that little pause before I thought of that, thought of because what amuses me about it is there are a lot of Japanese tourists always outside the Sherlock Holmes Museum, and I think a lot of them think that he really existed, and we usually find ourselves in the traffic there looking at it, and it's Baker Street, and it's our route in most mornings. And yet it was about the fifth thing that crossed my mind. I thought of Regent's Park. I thought of North End Road.
When did you think that? When did you think then, you mean? Yeah, just then?
Yeah, just then. A few images about, because obviously I wanted it to be involving you as well. And then I thought, but we never talk about the Sherlock Holmes Museum, do we?
No.
Ever.
I'm a huge Holmes fan. I've been there many times myself. Yeah, it's. But you are telling me as we sit there, which is as we stand there, which is what it is.
And the A thing, even though it was much simpler, the A thing was extraordinary.
Weird. You'd never fail to astonish us.
I do fail sometimes. It doesn't work all the time on everybody. But
well, that's part of the risk.
Oh, that's modest.
Good.
Well, maybe you'll fail later, because he's coming back a little bit later tonight to show me how I can read Richard's mind and tell him exactly what he's thinking.
Don't say the obvious thing. Don't say the obvious thing.
What?
Well, that won't take very long then.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't say that.
You said it earlier, didn't you?
You wrote it. We're also looking at the huge rise in the number of men having cosmetic surgery. Right, before my magician Derren Brown shows me how to read Richard's mind, here's another astonishing moment from his new TV series. What did you do? Did you hypnotise him?
It's suggestion. It's a form of waking hypnosis, but no, there's no actual hypnosis in the show.
You didn't go into a trance or anything like that?
Not at all. It's just eye contact and getting the person believing in you for that moment, I think.
Jeez. All right then. Well, you said I'm going to read Richard's mind?
Yes.
Go on then.
If you'd like to go. All right. Can I sit you just maybe change so you're just sort of facing each other dead on? All right. Definitely, I think sit forward a bit for this. I know your natural pose is one of. Yeah.
Don't start looking inscrutable. Because I'm going to
read. That's my special thing.
Go on.
It's a polite word for what it is. Can you both look? If you just take your hand down, put it there. And if you look just here on Richard and you look just here on Judy.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to ask you, Richard, what I'd like you to do is you're going to send something across, an image or a word, all right? And as all you have to do is to forget about whether it's psychic or not, or whether you believe in that or not, because I don't believe in it. But just imagine a screen in your mind and slowly build an image or a word, however you want to see it. And just so that people don't feel that we've pre-arranged you exactly what you're going to think of, change your mind a few times so that you settle on something now, and that's what you're going to be thinking of, all right?
Got it, yeah.
As he does that, your task, for me, and just keep staring right there, is to also build an image in your mind, all right? And all you have to do is very simple, is just sit there and concentrate on that one image. That's all I'm going to ask you to do,
Okay.
all right? And as you look at each other, just both of you relax, and in your mind, just start making that image bigger and brighter.
Okay.
And slowly allow this thing you're thinking of, whatever it is, as you look there, just to slowly form in front of you. And imagine, instead of like a little screen now, that it's changed into like an IMAX screen in between you, a huge screen with that picture on. And Richard, make the picture bigger and brighter. Imagine you've got controls that you can turn up, and you can make the contrast more, you can make it bigger and brighter and more vivid. And also in your mind, whatever it is, just start to say it over and over again. And you start to do the same thing. Whatever you're picturing now, just start to say what it is over and over again in your mind, repeating it in your mind. And then start shouting it. Turn up the volume in your mind. Say nothing out loud, give nothing away, keep staring at each other, and just transmit that across to Judy. Transmit it across, send it across, and start shouting in your mind over and over again what it is, louder and louder and louder and louder, and just concentrate and relax and just see what comes to mind. Just build that image in your own mind, keep staring at each other louder and louder and louder, and then stop, both of you. Okay? Now, so that we know your answers are honest, take that for me. Don't let me see what you write, and don't let Judy see either, but just write down, or you can draw a picture if you had a picture, or you can write what it was that you were thinking. Judy, in all honesty, as you were doing that, what were you picturing in your mind?
I was picturing a shoe.
You were picturing a shoe. Any particular shoe?
Just a shoe, a sort of man's shoe, I think, actually.
All right. Any reaction there?
It's close.
What?
Turn it around. What were you thinking of? What were you picturing? Boots.
Good grief.
Yeah?
That is weird.
Man's boots or ladies' boots? Or?
I was thinking of her boots, actually. This is
right,
right.
because you're looking at my boots.
Not then, not
weird?
then.
It's absolutely bizarre, isn't it?
That is,
And
yeah,
it's
I mean, of
nothing-
all the objects I could think of,
Yeah.
it's an item of footwear.
And there's nothing remotely psychic about it. There really isn't. It's the weirdest thing. It's absolutely bizarre.
But you never even mentioned the word foot or shoe or
No, but if you
anything.
watch this back, if you watch this tape back and watch it second by second, you will see exactly what I was doing to make you do that. It's partly in what I'm doing, it's you concentrating, it's all there. There's nothing psychic about it. If you watch it back, you will see.
Well, we will. We will watch it back, and if we can work it out, we'll show it tomorrow.
Please do.
When does your new series out?
New series goes out, well, it's Friday week, isn't it? It's a week tomorrow now.
A week
it's
tomorrow.
Friday the 28th on Channel 4. I think about 10:30, 10:35 in the evening or something. And then I'm touring the country from middle of March. So it's quite a busy period for me at the moment.
Well, it's a great show.
Fantastic.
And I've got to tell you, folks, no collusion here.
No.
Absolutely
collusion at all.
nothing,
You know, I would have, in some ways, it would have been fun for it not to work. Well, because I'm just like that. But it was terrific. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It was a real pleasure.
Three
Thank
really
you.
good stunts. All right, news of George Clooney and Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal and us coming up. And we look at the steep rise in the numbers of men opting for plastic surgery. The most popular op is apparently enlargement. And we're not talking noses. You say we pay 2 after the break.